Shalom. First, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Akakwadash. All right, today is Sunday, the 13th, 2020. We almost here in the year of 2021, and we're in the midst of a lot of prophecies come to pass. So things are happening and moving fast. And one thing I want to touch on today is how the Most High is actually assembling the outcasts of Israel, because that's something the Most High said He would do. Because when you go into history, okay, when you go into history, all right, we were scattered through slavery. All right, so it's about cold up a little bit, it's nippy out here. But we were scattered because of slavery. We went to the different captivities, and as a result to going to captivities in the different lands of the heathen, we became scattered. All right, now when you look at the beginning of the empire, which is the current empire we're living in right now, at the beginning of it, which is known as the Renaissance period. All right, the beginning of Esau coming into power, back into power. All right, a lot of Israelites was, especially Judah, the southern kingdom, was sold indiscriminately throughout the four corners of the earth. And so you have Israelites all over. Even the northern tribes. Some of the northern tribes we were taken from over here, right? On top of it was remnants of us that was left over there as well. Like in the Syrian captivity. Some Israelites stayed. And even when Yahweh Shah came the first time as himself, there was little small remnants of us northern tribes there still. All right, so as a whole nation, all right, we were scattered down. Let me set this down. Now, before I open up with that, I'm gonna go to the book of which is a good opening precept for this subject matter. Book of James. The book of James 1:1 said, James, a servant of the Most High and of the Lord Yahweh Shah Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. Now, we notice it mentioned the 12 tribes because I said opening up that especially Judah, and I said, but even those northern tribes, we were scattered as well. I mean, we were scattered as well, throughout slavery, and also Esau coming back into power as well. If you look into history, some of the Spaniards and the Spaniards and the conquistadors. The conquistadors took certain of us northern tribes over to Europe and different parts across the Atlantic. So, even going back to Spain, when they returned back to Spain, they brought slaves with them, okay? The ones that they could capture. So, Israelites, us as a whole, we were scattered, and to this very day, we're among all the nations. And you gotta remember too, we was scattered among nations through slavery, because we went into slavery under every nation, where they was collectively reigning together, like the Midianites, like you had different nations ruling within certain kingdoms or sharing the kingdom, right? But still, we went into slavery under all these heathens. So let's go to what I had queued up. Oh yeah, gotta bring out the curse too. That's one of the curses that we will be scattered among all nations. Deuteronomy chapter 28. I'm gonna go to verse 15, so you can understand that it's a curse that we are scattered. Starting in verse 15, it says, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and the statutes which I command thee this day, and all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee." Now we're going to jump down to the 64th verse, the verse of Israelites being scattered. So this is something that was told before, all right, to us Israelites, that if we would not hearken to the voice of Yahweh, our power, that we will have to endure these curses, and these curses are prophetic curses, all right, that we will have to go through and endure, all right, and that's how you identify yourself too as being an Israelite, because we're the only people, all right, we're the only people that these prophetic curses fit, us so-called Negro, or so-called Latinos, or so-called Native American Indian, all right, we're the only ones that fit these prophecies, all right. There's a clear distinction between us and the other nations, all right, because of these curses that we have to go through, not these other nations, all right. The other nations, they have to, take a back seat to the other heathen nations or heathen nation that is ruling. But far as on a large scale, we're the ones that be the slaves when all these major empires stood. When you go in the scriptures, all right. So, the curses always showed, all right, and it was different times when heathen knew that our God was punishing us and putting us in slavery, all right. Verse 64, and Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even with stone. So the Most High, Heavenly Father, Yahweh, scatters among all people, which includes all the heathen nations. All right, we're scattered among all of them. All right, even to this very day. All right. Every nation up under the sun, you have a remnant of Israelites there. All right, and how you identify them is by the Spirit. All right, you identify them by the Spirit. Certain physical attributes stand out. Of course, like the you have the Manny Pacquiao's of the world. All right, and that's one of the total obvious. But because his spirit, but his physical abilities stand out too. But you can trace his. It's easy to trace his lineage too, though. I did that when I first learned that when I first started learning this knowledge. You learn, that everything is by the Spirit. And just because a Israelite don't look like a typical Israelite, don't mean he's not Israelite. Just because his father may look so-called white or whatever. You gotta learn that when you first come in. All right, so when you first come in, you have to learn that hey, just because this man fathered like a so-called white man, like an Edomite, all right, he shows Jacob, he shows the spirit of Jacob, as far as Jacob characteristics, all right, and also, the Most High is doing the gathering, all right. The Most High is the one that's drawing, Israelites in. There's brothers in camps that look like a straight up, almost like a straight up Edomite. May have blonde hair, or blood-ish hair, but hey, that's so be it. That just, that just shows that, the Most High, when you said, my hair just unto me is as a speckled bird, it just shows you that we are truly a speckled bird, all right? So we're scattered among all people, all right? I don't care if it's the Ishmaelites, which are the so-called Arabs. We have Israelites among them. All right, you even have Israelite slaves among Ishmael right now. Me and a fellow brother, we was talking about that one day, going into that one day, a few years back. We was watching videos of actual Israelite slaves, like really like still right to this very day, in hardcore slavery and being treated as slaves. I like, like we over here, we're able to go to work and go home. They actually over there being forced to work and all that, facing brutality. All right, and you damn Israelites going to pay for that, They're making the point that that Israelites are actually still actually in slavery still. You know what I mean? So let's go to this is the book of Psalms, chapter 147, starting at verse 1. Grab my nose. All right, so this is the book of Psalms, the 147th chapter, beginning at the first verse. And it reads, Praise ye Yahweh, for it is good to sing praises unto our power, for it is pleasant, and praise is comely. Yahweh doeth build up Jerusalem, all right, Yerushalayim, the city of peace. It says, he gathered together the outcasts of Israel. All right, the Most High is gathering together right now the outcasts of Israel as far as the elect. All right, we like to call it the hopeful elect. All right, but the Most High Heavenly Father is truly gathering together his elect. And how do you know that? Because you see brothers like myself, we out here teaching. All right, we out here, we haven't stopped teaching. Even through different circumstances we have to go through, different trials. All right, we have to go through our fiery trials. All right, but still, nonetheless, we out here teaching. We out here being diligent. And even during the week, we being diligent as far as we make our weekly videos. All right, outside of coming out here to camp. All right, we're coming out here, we're doing this work, we're doing this labor. All right, and not just coming out here doing the labor, but we consistently do it. All right, the scriptures speak about coming in, doing the work in season and out of season. And right now it's out of season. All right, because it's winter time. All right, like right now it's actually pretty fucking cold. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty fucking cold. I had to zip my coat up because I don't want to get too chilly. Even though I'm not chilly, but I feel the cool breeze, the wind blows. But the lake effect weather here, makes it colder than normal. All right, or then when you far in the land. So when you're closer to a large body of water, it makes the temperature seem cooler than what it is, or seem cooler. I'm sorry, makes the temperature drop lower. All right, so being right here by Lake Michigan, I can damn near see Lake Michigan if I stood in one of these buildings right here. All right, because it's right there. It's pretty cool. But you have to be in season and out of season. The scripture speak about being apt to teach. All right, so the elect is going to be out teaching on highways and hedges, as our Lord Yahweh Shai commanded. All right, He said, "Go into the highways and hedges." All right, and compel my people to come in, and that's what we're doing. All right, and it's not just going on over here in Babylon. All right, the headquarters of Esau's kingdom. All right, which is America, so-called America. All right, camps all over the earth. They're teaching. All right, they're teaching. All right, the same thing we're teaching. As far as those of us that have the true sound doctrine. All right, they're teaching and they're exalting the names of the Most High, the Son, Yahweh Yahweh Shai. All right, as you've seen that. As you've seen in that one video where you have this so-called Filipino, which I believe he's an Israelite. All right, he was teaching the proper names of the Heavenly Father and His Son. All right, and this pronunciation was right on the money. I mean, he said it very clearly. You can understand, and you notice. If you pay attention, you notice he said it just the way we said. Even though they speak partial Latin, and I forget the other languages mixed in there with it. All right, but they speak the main part of their language they speak in the Philippines is Spanish. All right, and they got other languages they speak too. But the ones I've met and used to actually play ball with. I play sports, I play sports still, to keep in shape, my cardio on. Well, I used to play ball with some of them. I mentioned this a while ago, maybe a few years back. Even when the Most High first brought me in, first drove me in, I mentioned two brothers, I was like, hey, I used to hoop with some Filipinos. They was cool as shit, man. They was like, I'm talking about they had like Jake over here in the hoods, man. Like not wild and shit, I'm talking about like they had swagger. They had that cool Jake demeanor and walk and talk, and they could play ball really fucking good, man. All right, some typical so-called normal Jake looking dude will look at them like, hey man, the fuck to blow them out. No, hell no, man. They got talent, man. They strong and can jump and shoot the ball. They got it, man. You know what I mean? And it's a clear show of talent and skill there that resembles Jake identically. You know what I mean? So I was like, man, when I've learned this knowledge, I'm like, man, them Jakes, man, them Israelites. I'm like, them was Israelites I was hooping with. You know what I'm saying? Like I was taken back by it. Like, damn. And they was cool because they would talk to me and be cool, and shit, it will be like Israelites in the gym, right? So it would be Israelites in the gym, right? And they speaking fluent Spanish to one another. And that's, I was like, what the fuck, yo? Like, that's crazy. And then, like they was, like, a lot of them got like English biblical names, Like, a lot of them was Mark, John, and, Luke, they was cool, and they wasn't wild and shit like, normal jakes you see over here in the hoods. They was actually, into, so-called burying themselves, but they would come into the neighborhoods, man, where the Latin tribes be at, all right, and they speaking Spanish, and they kicking it with them like you know what I'm saying, like they've been knowing each other forever, man. So the outcasts of Israel that's out in these different lands, all right. I've seen fucking, oh man, these guys they be in these East Indian little food joints, because a lot of these East Indians, they be in these restaurants cooking chicken and shit, man. I was the one spot, you got the New York Fried Chicken, all right. Now that establishment is owned by these Elamites. But I kid you not, all those workers in there are mainly Jake. All right, and they're starting to get gas stations as well, as far as these Elamites, and then they put Jacob in there. And Jake's is from over in India and shit. All right, and they cool as fuck, man. They dress just like Jake dressed over here, man. The hood, man. They catch on real quick. That's how you know they Israelites. They see Jake. They cool as hell. They even got fucking rap music in that'd be something. I'd be like, damn, yo, that's rap music. You go into the store, weekend come, some brothers don't work the weekend, or even if it gotta be the weekend, you can just go in the store, and you go in the store, whether it's a corner store or some liquor store, whatever, what have you, and it'd be an East Indian. So it appear by appearance like it's an East Indian. When you closely pay attention, the motherfuckers, they back there with jewelry on, sagging and shit. Some of them work out and shit. Okay, so like I said, so you can see, you know what I'm saying, even amongst these Arabs. I had a distant cousin on my mom's side. Well, actually, he would be first cousin on my mom's side, right? He used to hang with this Arab dude, son, and I believe that he was an Israelite because the dude, he used to own a store not far from here, actually, probably like about a half mile from where I'm at, maybe 3/4 of a mile from where I'm at, straight up the street behind me. All right, right up Pipestone, the street called, this street right here, and fucking, he had a store right there back in the day. That was in the early 2000s. I was in high school. My cousin used to hang out with his son. And his son, he was fresh. We call it dead fresh mean you real clean, you real nice, neat, put together, and he would hang out and throw parties and shit, be partying and shit, and his sister was built just like a so-called black woman. And she liked Number Jakes, and his dad was mad, but then he got over it. All right, he got over it. All right, so there are Israelites coming out of every nation, man. All right, and the Most High is actually building up. He's building up Jerusalem, which spiritual Jerusalem. All right, which goes into the temple as well. All right, because when Yahweh Shah told him that he would rebuild the temple, All right. He wasn't talking about actual physical temple. All right. The temple is the governing body. All right, which is the elect of the nation of Israel. All right. Now, the Most High is built Jerusalem, but you see Jerusalem, which all of us out here that's out teaching and doing this work, we're Jerusalem. All right. Remember, Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. So when people see us out here on the highways and edges, all right, they looking at Jerusalem. All right. When the scriptures speak about who's that? Paul. He said, I see New Jerusalem come out of heaven. What do you mean by seeing a New Jerusalem come out of heaven? That's the elect in the elect families. All right, the rest of the remnant, all right, which is the rest of the 1/3. The total 1/3 is going to be saved, but he's seen us coming out of the firmament by way of the chariots, man. That's what he meant when he said he's seen the New Jerusalem, all right, coming out of heaven, man, descending out of heaven. That's all of us, Lord. I'm a part of that number, you know. Being that we were saved from the destruction of this place, and the rest of Esau's kingdom. All right, those of us that was granted salvation would actually come off those chariots. All right, and be brought down by the chariots, because that's the fulfillment of that'll be the fulfillment of Isaiah the 14th chapter, when the Most High said that He would set us in our land. All right, meaning physically put us there. He's going to physically put us in our land by way of the chariots, which Esau calls so-called UFOs. All right, so we're going to actually come off so-called UFOs, which are the chariots. All right, and that's the Most High physically setting us in our land. All right, not with His own hand. All right, but actually gathering us up, beaming us up on the chariots, or being abducted by the chariots. All right, and taken back to the land of Israel. All right, and that's scripture. Okay, that's actual prophecy, and that hasn't happened yet. All right, that's how you know that the so-called Jews are not us. Okay, when did the Most High assemble you from all the people? All right, and then set you in the land of Israel? No, what you did was you came back into power by taking down the real Israelites. All right. When you took down the real Israelites, all right, put us in slavery, which the Most High don't want to put us in slavery under you, but we was put in slavery under you. All right. That's why a lot of those slave ships, you know, and this Rabbi Rosenberg or some shit like that, you know, he was trying to like belittle the fact that the so-called Jewish people was the ones that was putting us in slavery. The fact that the so-called Jewish, all right, was the conquistadors. The so-called Jewish was the Spaniards. And all those different voyages of savages that came over here to these lands by way of searching the scriptures to a land where never mankind dwelt, which is over here, which is known as the Americas today. All right, they came over here because they knew the Israelites was over here, and they knew the records, man. All right, because the scriptures tell you, all right, how we got over here in the Apocrypha. What's that? 2nd Esdras, 13th chapter, man. About starting at the 40th verse. All right, so they knew that we was over here. All right, but like I was saying, all right, the so-called Jew is the one that put us in slavery. All right. They know who is who, which tribe is which. They know that we when we go into the tribes and break down the tribes, they know that this sign is accurate for all you jackasses. That's the bitched up and got mad at the elder apostles because your own wicked fucking doings. Can't get mad at the elder apostles because the spirit of the Most High ain't dealing with you no more. All right. But even Esau himself know that this sign is accurate, man. All right. And you got guys out there, like I'm to mention one. All right. You had and then two. You had Nasty Nas. His name was Nazariah. And then you had Egghead. He used to be head of the Detroit camp. They was all trying to come against the sign, like the sign was wrong. No, get the fuck out of here. You just got demons on you, man. Because Esau knows this sign is accurate. He knows that the so-called Mexicans are the tribe of Issachar. He knows that the so-called Cubans are the tribe of Manasseh. He knows the so-called Puerto Ricans is Ephraim. He knows that the so-called Negro is Judah. And so on and so forth. He knows that the Levite, the original Levites, all right, the real Levite tribe is over in Haiti and scattered abroad. He know that. Esau knows that, man. But all of a sudden, because, demons jumped on you, you bugged all out, now all of a sudden the sign ain't right, But anyways, when you go into the word Gentile in the New Testament, right? Like you go into Ephesians, all right, it speaks about the Gentiles. It explains when you go look up the word Gentile, all right, who's it talking about? All right. But before I go there, let me get this. This is the book of Isaiah 11, verse 12. Actually, what I'm talking about right now is fit perfectly with this precept. Isaiah chapter 11, starting at verse 10. In that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria. I mentioned Assyria earlier, if you were listening, all right? The Syrian captivity, yeah. And from Egypt, even coming out of the old Egypt, with that great deliverance when the Most High brought us out from Egypt, all right? That was a great deliverance, right? But even at certain times in history, you had where Jakes fled to Egypt. Like when Yahweh Shai was coming to the world,